From Buffalo to the big leagues, this is Maddie Tells All. All right, so today I came into the studio and I was like, we have a half an hour before my second guest comes in. And I was like, I need to get on here and just tell you how my weekend went and what I did. Because life of an entrepreneur, am I right? I was approached by this company a few months ago, a Dubai chocolate company. They have a huge manufacturing plant in Jersey, and they go and stock all the bodegas from Buffalo, Rochester, Albany, New York City, New Jersey, Connecticut, you name it. Bodega man, we'll call him. And he was just like, yeah, like, love your Instagram. I went to UB, and I've been really trying to get into the social media space. My website's getting updated, and I really need socials. I hop on the socials, and I was like, yes, you do. And it was just all pictures of bodegas and the products. But no, what was crazy is that he's taking pictures of it, and you see the chocolate bars, you see some of his brands, but then in the background, you see all of his competitors. And I'm like, these are just the kind of diagnosis that goes through my head of like, I'm like, oh my God, he needs a whole entire brand strategy and everything needs to be gutted and flipped and turned. And so that's when we talked, but then he was like, I'm going to Dubai for 2 months. And when we get back, like, let's start rolling. And so then I moved to New York and I started working with this company, Syndicate 11, which we love. They do high-end networking events with awesome creators and influencers, but what I will say is that they're so different than an agency and so different than just being like, oh, I work with a bunch of influencers. So many of these influencers have apps. They're in the tech fashion space, building apps. They're working with hospitality restaurants, which is my favorite. And they've just been up to some cool stuff. And it's so cool that I get to meet. And I met this one girl who does mukbang videos and baby dumpling, which I absolutely love it. Her and I were eating the whole entire event. Long story short, I'm such a rambler. The guy gets back from Dubai. He calls me. And he's like, it's operation, let's go. And I was like, I'm so happy that you called because I'm actually going to NASCAR this weekend. And I really think that Syndicate should be, or I really think that the Dubai chocolate should be involved with this. And he was like, okay. And so we negotiated, talked about sponsorships. Because again, these content creators, to get into the program, you have to have 100,000 followers or above. And it's a 3-tier interview process for you to get in. And it's really wanting to make sure that these content creators are really just down to do fun events and not have to be so, ooh, look at me, I'm having this. Oh, I love this drink. It's so organic at these events and no one's selling anything. So it's truly authentic and amazing. So I told him about the event. It was going to be so much fun, and it was so much fun. We met at this place, Joe and the Juice, awesome place. There's a bunch all over. We went to the one in West Village, and they sponsored it, a bunch of juices, a bunch of food. We had a little like music playing. We chilled there for an hour, and I kid you not, it's 7:30 in the morning, and I brought a whole bin of these Dubai chocolates, all different kinds. Half of the bin was already gone by 8:30. And I was like, oh my goodness, are we going to have enough for the bus? We get on the party bus, a 45-person bus with a bathroom. And I was DJ. I didn't even know I was going to be a DJ. If you ask any of my friends, I am not a DJ by any means. But, I was like, I feel like I have the vibe perfect for this. And we played Sweet Home Carolina. We played, I don't know, like just like old school American country vibes. It was great. Everyone's eating the Dubai chocolates. I'm like, I can't believe it's this early. Everything's happening. We go to NASCAR. We have a blast. We're at Lime Rock in Connecticut, and we have 45 creators, and we're in the pit. Legit in the pit. And I'm like, I've never been in the pit before, and I've seen all these other creators all the time with their cute little sports jackets with the guys in the background in the cars. We were one of them. Like, I think everyone was so impressed by that and in awe the whole entire time. And it was crazy because that group of content creators, we were the only ones there. Like, there wasn't a lot of girls at the event at all. So everyone loved taking pictures with us. We met so many of the NASCAR racers. It was amazing. But that company that decided to sponsor us, so the night before, right, I'm a team player. It's a Friday night. I'm getting ready, and I'm like about to go out to dinner with some of my girlfriends. And then I go on the Instagram page, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot that this company has such a pretty bad Instagram. And I was like, I can't be promoting this Instagram tomorrow. I don't feel comfortable promoting this Instagram tomorrow without giving it a facelift. So I call the owner and I was like, hey, is there anyone in-house, or can you send me a Google Drive with professional photos of these chocolate bars and your products? And he was like, no, like we don't really have that. We don't really have professional like photo shoots from it. And that day before, we met up for lunch and he gave me a bunch of chocolate bars to take home. So I was like, okay, if you feel comfortable, give me the password, give me the login, and I will rebrand this whole entire thing overnight. I spent about 7 to 8 hours, and instead of going on Friday night, I canceled plans with my friends, but it's okay. So there was a bunch of them, so it's not like they were missing me too much. And I decided to stay in, and I rebranded this whole entire Instagram, and I did it solely with my iPhone and a ring light. Baby girl has got to invest in a nice camera. I've been blessed, but my content, when I want to hire a professional photographer and video, I do that. Otherwise, it's just from my iPhone. Get good lighting. It does a pretty good job. That's why when I say it doesn't take a lot to start a business, okay, we all got cell phones. But 7 hours I'm in my house with this chocolate bar, just on the patio, in the kitchen, putting the chocolate bars in the freezer, opening up the drawer, grabbing my hands in there, doing product placements, taking my waist belt that I have on now, wrapping it around the Dubai chocolate and making it like, you gotta have this. It's so sexy. It's so luscious. And that is just what content creators can do last minute, and brand strategists and everything content creators. And that was like a moment where I was just like, wow, I think I can do anything. I also found out that 2 of the main chocolate bar companies they work with are pretty famous on Instagram. One of them has 250,000 followers. The other one has 30,000 followers, and they have great content. So I'm gonna give you guys a great lesson. Most of you guys should know this by now, but sometimes people don't understand what remixing is on social media. I'm gonna give you a very easy breakdown of what it is. So I believe it's going to be in your right-hand corner, little dots, when you're doing a video. And it's going to say remix on there. So it's, if you're on somebody's page, like the one that has 250,000 followers, right? I go on there, I found one of their videos that had like 2.7 million followers. I go on there, I click little buttons, and I do remix. So with remixes, you have to put a caption on there. So you have to make the video different, but there's a life hack. A lot of people are like putting big captions over everything, which you're trying to emphasize something, that's fine. And sometimes things go viral because people love stopping and reading what the video is about. But this was pretty self-explanatory. It was a chocolate video. It gets right to the point. So all you got to do, grab an emoji, grab a letter, make it as tiny as you want, and then drag it all the way into the corner where you can't see it. And that technically qualifies as remixing a video. And so the company still gets the rights, still gets the analytics, still gets the data from everyone remixing it. But then also, you are bringing new people to your page as well. So I found those 2 chocolate bar companies, and I started remixing a bunch of those videos, and I found a bunch of different captions that I was cool with. I sat there and just wrote a bunch out because they had a huge activation at the Fancy Food Show, which was insane, at the Javits Center in New York City. I don't even know how many vendors, but there was every single country there. There was 3 floors. There was live speakings. There was eating competitions. I ran into some of my friends, and that event is something that I cannot wait to do again next year. It was nuts. There wasn't even a lot of content creators there, so a lot of companies were giving me their business cards, being like, work with me, let's go. So shout out that. But I was just advertising that the Dubai Chocolate Company was going to have an activation there. They were going to have a booth there. Come by and visit them. And then also just the difference of their products. Why I love this manufacturing company is they really try to focus on the brands that have clean ingredients. So they used to work with this other Dubai chocolate company, but there was red dyes in there. There was all this kind of stuff. And so then they went to one of these shows, and then they found this new Dubai chocolate that is taking off, and it has very clean ingredients, which we love. And so he decided to go with them. And so that was just so great. I was able to remix all these videos that were already on 2 of the platforms, and then about 25 of the photos that I took in my house. Just with me and my nails and my rings, I just made that part of the shoot. So I rebranded this whole entire Instagram account in like 7 hours, stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning, had to get up and then go to the juice event in the morning, which was at 4 o'clock. So remind you, I'm at 4 hours of sleep, and then this event was from 7 a.m. till 2 o'clock in the morning. So it didn't end there. I was taking all the content at the juice, on the party bus. You know, the chocolate was melted by the time we got to the race, so we couldn't do too much content there. But then we hosted an official after party with 500 people, more content creators. We had some liquor brands there. We had some beer brands. And then it was all old school cars, which is like my dream. When I think about it, I'm so mad. I should have like got some pictures of me in some of the cars. Well, I guess I did for 2 of them. But that was just so much fun, and everyone was just having such an incredible time. And so the Dubai Chocolate Company had a whole entire 10 by 10 space, a whole little activation corner. We had this beautiful content creator who's an actor, absolutely gorgeous. She was the one, we gave her the spiel, gave her the pitch deck. This is what I need you to learn. These are your selling points. We weren't selling the chocolate. It was just giving out samples, but not just samples, full chocolate bars. Bags of chocolate bars. I kid you not. There was liquor, beer brands, all these other things. The Dubai chocolate went faster than I've ever seen before. Grown men coming up and getting like 5 different samples. I'm like, you are going to turn into a pistachio at one point. And then people were coming up, my grandson. I'm like, I don't even know if you have a grandson at this point. You're just taking all the free samples. But at the end of the night, started to lightly drizzle, and it was only like 20 minutes left of the event, and I was like, we don't just break down because it's raining, and this company still has 20 minutes left in their sponsorship. So we took the table, we brought it inside, and then I brought some of the liquor bottles from Misguided, one of the brands that Syndicate works with, put those on there and turned it into a shot bar. And people were taking shots and chasing it with chocolates. And the content's gonna be so good. And then the ride home, we were just eating more food, having a good time. And that day we had a drone pilot, we had a videographer, we had a photographer. And then you know what? I forgot. It doesn't even end there. I go home. Sunday I did get to chill. I was reposting all the content, making all the reels the day before. I did that for the first like 4 hours of the day. And then when Lainey, my bestie, woke up, I said, let's go to the beach. We went to the beach. We found this beach that's only 30 minutes away from my house. And it was hysterical because we are on the beach and we are noticing that everyone is topless. And I'm like, is this a topless beach, or is all these people just European and they're just doing their thing? We go in the ocean. We're having a good time. We're like, let's take a walk down the beach. We go down the beach. It's gay day. It's gay pride day. And that beach has a family section, then the gay friendly side. Oh my goodness, it was out of a movie. I went to some beaches in Toronto, and Toronto has a ton of nude beaches. On Toronto Island, if you don't know, now you know, Toronto has an island. There is nude people on there. So then we go on the gay side, and we just rip off our tops. I'm invested at this point. I'm like, I was topless the whole entire time I was spending time in Mexico, even though I found out that it's super illegal to be topless in Mexico. And everyone was coming up to me saying, what country are you from? I said, Buffalo, New York. They said, where's that? And I'm like, in New York. And they're like, oh, do people go topless there? I'm like, no, but wherever I can be topless, I will. Her and I end up having an amazing day. The ocean's amazing. We are swimming. We go back on like the family side. At that point, everyone's just topless. We were just in it. By the end of the day, I may or may not got hit on some girls. I was flattered. I was like, this reminds me back in my rugby days. But got home. We cleaned the house. We arranged the patio. The endorphins after the beach. Lainey and I come home and we reorganize our house and clean every single time, like clockwork. It's hysterical. That brings me to... to Monday. So it's Monday, and I go to the fancy food show I was contracted to go do content. So I've been taking over the Instagram for the last, more than 48 hours. The last, 4 days, whatever that math is. go there, and we did so many different photo shoots, so many different videography content there. I went around to all the different stands. I went to the New York side. There was a whole New York strip side. There was this hot sauce called Karma that's doing all of the hot sauces basically for Hot Ones. They've done series after series. Lady Gaga had one of her favorite hot sauces from there, from Rochester, Karma. And I was like, what? That is absolutely incredible, and congratulations on that. So I was yelling at them a little bit about social media, because I was like, guys, I need you to scream that from the rooftop every second. In your space, your 10 by 10, I need that screaming on the walls, because I'm like, I love Hot Ones. I guess at one point, I think they did have him, the owner of Hot Ones, come in. There were so many like celebrity guests throughout that whole entire show, which was pretty awesome. I just was truly there for the Dubai chocolate, so I didn't get to see as much. I pretty much did content for them. So I was there all day doing that, went home, doing content, spitting out for them. Then today, that was the same exact thing. I went there today. Levi from Syndicate came. He met the owners and everyone else who's part of the brands. We went around, had some chocolates, and then I had to do a full-blown photo shoot, and I love it because one of the owners of the company that has like the 250,000 followers, he was there, and he was like, would you be my model? And I was like, I thought you'd never ask. And at one point, I was like, my dream photo shoot is to be like in a bathtub with chocolate melting down my body and have it be like nude and tasteful, so like stay tuned for that. I'm all about that. Last time I posted a video like that, it got taken down in like 2 seconds on Instagram. But we did this photo shoot in front of the whole entire Fancy Food Fest show. And it was so iconic. It's the billboard is like the middle of Times Square. It's craziness. We had the chocolate bars, and I kid you, it was nuts. I'm fighting off these people because at the end of the show, all the activations give away all of their free food. So people have suitcases, they have bags, and they're going around and they're just hoarding and grabbing stuff. So in the middle of a photo shoot, people are just coming up and stealing all the chocolate bars. I'm like, we need crowd control. And to top it off the whole entire time, most of these guys, they don't speak English. They speak straight Turkish. We had one interpreter, and he was super busy too because he was helping me do everything. But you know what? We made it happen. The photo shoot was quite a moment. The videographer is taking it. The photographer is taking me this backdrop, and I'm talking. There is a crowd of people. Like, they've never seen a photo shoot before. Honestly, it felt like a dream. I love attention. I'm not going to hide that from you. Good attention. I love giving back. I love being in front of the camera. I've been like this my whole entire life, and I loved every second of it. And there was about 30 people all with their phones out, going up to my friend, being like, what does she do? What does she do? Causing that buzz. And that's why I love going to these events, and I think it's so important. If it's not something that you're truly into, or you're like, oh, it's just going to be overcrowded, I'm not interested. Like, the networking game is insane, and just meeting people and causing a scene. And I had my ring light, and I was going around, and I was giving shout outs to so many businesses. I found out the pancake business is in that one show that everyone's obsessed with. It's like a diner that everyone's obsessed with. We'll figure it out what it was. I did not know any of this. I gave them a bunch of plugs on Instagram, and they were like, oh my God, next time you come into town, you got to come visit us. This other restaurant, he reached out to me to do influencer collaborations. I was just going around, giving my business card, giving my speech, making it personable. That's all you can do. No one wants to just be like, I do this, here's my card. Long story short, I crushed this weekend, and I'm so proud of myself because that was a lot. I could have got some more sleep, but I made a brand completely stand out, and I felt comfortable enough. The owners, just texted me saying, you absolutely rock. That was absolutely incredible. I gave them a great deal, great proposal, because everything was so last minute, and they trusted me to do a big sponsorship with a company they'd never heard of before. So blessed with that because they trusted. And then the contract with me, and I'm already getting contracted again with them, but I always over-deliver. And that's all I can ever say to anyone. Anytime you are giving out a proposal, write down all those little details. And there's so many things that come organic with that you really need to think about. Are you going to post this on LinkedIn? Well, if you already are going to post it on LinkedIn, put it in your proposal. If you're going to post it on X, Put that in your proposal. Oh, I'm probably going to do 20 story posts because that sounds like me. Put it in your proposal. And then you can leave a few things out. And then, you might surprise them and say, oh, I'm going to do this. It wasn't in my proposal today to even go to the event today. But I went to the event today because they were like, is there any chance that you'd come by tomorrow? Like, you can eat food, you can do stuff. Like, we love having you here. And I was like, you know what? I had so much fun. And I love the camera. And I know the camera guy was going to be there. And then when I was leaving, they were like, we need to do a whole entire photo shoot with you. And I was like, of course. Was that in my contract? No. To go today. But I know that when you show up for a company and you give them all, they're going to tell all their friends. And that's all you got to do. So that was my crazy last 4 days of my life. And then it just doesn't end because now tomorrow is a strict work day. I'm going to be locked in from 9 to 8 o'clock, I swear. And then my brother and Michelle are in town and I'm going to go to the beach with them because they also were in town. We went and rode, we went on a ferry and did all that kind of stuff. I love them. They're amazing. And then it's 4th of July weekend and I'm doing some stuff for some brands. And then it goes into a beach house with my friends and doing stuff with another brand. So stay tuned for all the content per usual and my crazy life. Cheers, guys. From small town roots to the big city hustle, remember your past doesn't define you. Your passion does. If something hits home today, share it, tag me, even write in. Be a part of this community. This isn't just my mic, it's ours. Check the episode description below for all the links. Until next time, keep building your empire your way.